Hello dear friends. On the Melonfonk channel, in this video we will talk about the pros and cons of the 30.0 update in Melon Playground. Well, if you subscribe to my channel right now and like it, then you will have more than 10,000 months on your account. It really works. By the way, I want to say a huge thank you to these guys for being in my video. Do you want to be in my next video? Just write a cool comment. It's incredibly simple. Well, I won't waste your time and enjoy watching it. The name of this video is not just like that. This is really the worst update ever, that I can only remember in the music playlist. But despite this, I think we can definitely highlight a few advantages about this update. Well, I think it's worth starting with the cons and much more. And the first disadvantage, I think, is the timing. The release of 30.0 made us really wait a long time for this update. We've been waiting for it for over a month, and it seemed like this is it. 30.0 is coming out now, Endless Ocean. But unfortunately, this did not happen. We waited a whole month just for the sake of a clothing editor and a few changes to the mechanics. Also, the addition of a very average item called Transformer. If a year and a half ago, the Chalk Playground had in 3 to 4 to 5 updates per month, and several of them were really large compared to others. Now this figure just seems ridiculous. 2 updates in 2 months, that's complete nonsense as far as I'm concerned. If this game continues to develop at this rate, it will completely lose its audience. I really hope that after this update, after the hate wave, the developers will draw certain conclusions, and then the update plans will really change. And I believe that the game should be updated at least 3 to 4 times a month. And these are not only bug fixes, these are minor gameplay changes that can have a positive impact on the audience here and now. This is not difficult and generally very feasible. Yes, I understand that updating complex mechanics is very important for a game like Chalk Sandbox or Chalk Playground, but taking it as a basis is really very stupid and short-sighted. I think you agree with my opinion. Please write in the comments what you think about this issue. The next disadvantage is the scale. This time, it's just ridiculously funny. Update 30.0 is the anniversary update, and now we will have an Endless Ocean. There are various storylines, twists, mechanics, but all we saw was a clothing editor. Yes, of course the mechanics are very cool, and changing the UI controller is incredibly important, but let's not go to extremes. There are very few gameplay additions, all we saw was a Transformer. I think the developers understand that this update is a failure, especially judging by the audience's reaction. Yes, I understand that there has been a lot of work on other updates. Yes, I understand that work is currently underway on future updates, but you don't just have to give up on what should be released here and now. And in this way, you can simply lose the entire audience that you have and be left with nothing. And I believe that in this case, if you don't have enough hands to carry out your plans, the team needs to be expanded. And I'm sure it's definitely there with Arisfana, because the game isn't getting any less popular. The game is constantly adding more and more donations, the game is adding more and more ads, but for some reason it seems like everything's only getting worse. And it seems to me that the lack of a huge team is still the problem of this game. Because the game has grown a lot during this time. Insanely much. The game has become really large scale, and it is a very large project compared to other games. But this is also the developer's mistake, that for such a large project, for such responsibility, it seems that few actions are performed for this. And we really need to try harder and invest more money back into the game. I really hope that this was the last time when developers just ignored everything and released a raw update. And in 30.0, when it should have been the best and biggest update in at least 6 months, some strange story comes out that no one needs. What do you think about this? Be sure to write in the comments. The next negative is 30.0, and I think it's obvious, just some extremely strange bugs. Not only did the update turn out to be very small, but there were also bugs that simply broke the game. Yes, so much so that the game wouldn't close, and had to be literally deleted to make it work. Well, even deleting it didn't always help. After deleting it, you had to download the mods again. And secondly, these bugs sometimes appeared again. And you just had to wait a few days for the fix of this update to be released just to play the new update that you had been doing for a month. And it still turned out to be bad. And at the same time, it turned out to be broken. Honestly, it all feels like some kind of nightmare that still can't end. But despite the endless disadvantages that I talk about almost the entire video, there are still small advantages in this update. And the first plus is the clothing editor, which is really very good. The clothing editor is a big and major addition in terms of mechanics, which will have a very positive impact on the workshop in the first place, because maps are boring, mods are boring, saves are too, and the clothing editor will add a lot of content, and in particular various costumes, various gloves, hats, which will have a very positive effect on the audience. It will really be a little more interesting for everyone to play and hang out at the workshop to get melts. Of course, I'll make a video about the best clothes in this update, of course. By the way, write in the comments ideas about how to name this video. The best idea, of course, I'll put in the next video. So the clothing editor is the only bright spot in this update, and there's really no shame in it. I would still give the next small plus for a transformer. I am very glad that the developers are still developing the electrics. I really hope that electrics will become metal in the future, that gameplay mechanics will depend on it, because now it's like a dummy that's in the game, but it's only needed to electrocute various NPCs. I really want electrics to really become a meta in the future, because what's in the game right now is pretty useless dummy items that absolutely nothing depends on. And especially funny in this campaign seems to be the battery, which not only needs to be charged, but also no one really needs its energy in general. It is really a useless item when there is especially a generator. And I really want a lot to depend on electrics in the future. Well, I really feel sorry for the electrical items, and I hope that the developers will make them much better. The next plus I would give to the developers is that they really expand the mechanics. They're really trying. I can see that they're taking the time to play, but sometimes it feels like they're just having a creative crisis, and they're just updating because there's a plan, not because they want to do something cool. And in principle, this is possible due to the fact that they are simply tired of the game itself, and perhaps expanding the team will help in this regard. And adding and changing mechanics is generally very cool. Adding new nodes to the chip, changing the UI of the controller, improving it in particular, and in general, there are just a lot of small additions that are really very good, but there are just a few of them and they are negligible. It would be great if developers could just add content. I want a lot of content, of course, but I need to dose it. It's great in mechanics, but you need balance everywhere. And of course, the pros turned out to be much less than the cons, but I believe in our developers. I believe in the Chalk Playground project, which is why I'm still shooting videos on this game, and I hope that this is just a temporary setback and then all the best will be ahead. Well, this is the end of my video. Thanks for watching, good luck to everyone, bye to everyone, and remember, buddy, as always, I'll see you in a few days.